Well, the weather certainly isn't like fall. It's getting very nice and very comfortable outside, but we have several fall like movies. They would probably be more apropos for Halloween, but no, they're coming out now. So let's talk about the first one up on the docket is a movie called Digging to Death. And I want to tell you that Digging to Death is the brainchild of Michael P. Blevins. You might recognize that name because he actually started out in the business on the cameras. Well, not even camera. Let's say electrical side. He was doing camera and gaffing and lighting and things like that. And eventually, he got little roles. In fact, he even shows up in this movie. He has a little cameo as the hardware store clerk. So when you see the guy behind the counter, that's Mike Blevins. He's probably best known for his movie Samurai Cop 2 and a movie that was released last year called The Second. And I mentioned that one because it had Casper Van Dien in it. And Casper Van Dien is a friend of the Facebook page for this show. So we often share pictures and what have you back and forth. And he was in that one too. So Blevins is back again. And this movie is called Digging to Death. And wow, what can I say about it? It's slips a little bit on this one, folks. And I'll tell you why. As cinematic class is about to begin, your professor is in. Greetings, salutations, and other sundry affair. I am your cinematic professor and purveyor of truth in movies. And as I said, tonight's film is called Digging to Death, and it's released by our friends at Uncorked Pictures. They have a propensity to release some pictures that are a little bit quirky. Yeah, this one is really quirky. I understand what Michael was doing with this thing. I mean, he wrote it and he directed the movie. But understanding what he was doing does not necessarily mean that he accomplished everything the way he wanted to. Basically, what we have here is we have a story about a man who is going through a divorce, which is stressful enough. He moves into a new house, and in the house, he happens to find $3 million and a body. Okay? Now, finding $3 million and a body carries some interesting possibilities with it. I'll give you just a moment to sit there and think to yourself, what would you do if you found a secret room in a brand new house you bought that had $3 million and a dead body? Are you thinking? It ain't going to be what this guy does. This guy goes bonkers, okay? He goes loony. And I guess therein comes the terror aspect because as he becomes loony and as he sees more and more of the dead body coming to life and what have you, then he becomes a complete spaz case. But, not the bad. The movie bounces between being or wanting to be serious and a comedy. By the time the final reels come along, this guy has lost it so much that it's like watching a really bad impersonation of Jack Nicholson, okay? Because nobody can do crazy like Jack. This guy tries, I should give you his name. He's played by Ford Austin, all right? And you could tell he's trying to capture the Nicholson spirit. Nah, he doesn't quite do it. The corpse in this movie is played by Tom Fitzpatrick, and David's daughter, Jessica, is played by Rachel Allig. And I got to tell you that some of the other... all right, let's pick on the editor, all right? The editor of this movie is Amir Mohammed. I don't know what they're teaching you guys over there in the Middle East, but it ain't how to edit right. Jump cuts, not in one sequence, but in several jump cuts. No. should be dragged through tarred and feathered. Putting that kind of stuff. And there's a continuity, let me give you an idea of the kind of continuity errors. Okay, so we have this plot, this hidden like room, if you will, in the backyard. There's $3 million. There's a body. All right. So in the span of one scene, our hero, quote unquote, David, goes to check on the money. All right. When he opens up the thing the first time, he had put the money in one of those trash bags with the red drawstrings, the brown trash bags. So we see it in there. The bag is partially open. We can see that the money is in the bag. All right. He closes the lid. He does some things in the house. He comes out. He opens it up again. There's no bag. There's just a pile of money on the ground. All right. Goes back into the house and gets some kind of a tool. He's wiring up, the sensors and what have you to the backyard. Opens up the thing again, and there's the bag, and it's completely tied and wrapped up. What are you thinking here? It's little things like that can really sabotage a movie, and they're all through this thing. Hey, let me also tell you, the director of photography in this is Justin Jones. Justin doesn't do anything of particular note in this. In fact, some of his shot sequences have some really questionable lighting. So, Michael, I see what you were trying to do here, bud, but, on your next script, you've got to decide whether you want this thing to be a comedy or whether you want to go full-fledged into horror, because you missed on both on this one, and I could see where you were trying to do, but yeah. Now, this one misses the mark. We're going to have to grade this one a little bit below average. And now that you have learned what you have learned, here endeth your lesson.